All right, so we said, I mean, like the entire point of a class is right now we're creating a single object. We're creating a single bubble, but that's not really the point of a class. That's nice way to keep track of data, but really we want to create multiple things from our bubble class. We want to make multiple objects from our bubble class. So let's do that now. Let's go through here and let's see. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that we have an array list. We're going to create an array list that's going to store bubbles. I'm going to call it bubbles. I'm going to declare that array list up here so it's visible across my entire class. And then I'm going to initialize bubbles as a new array list. What did I do? I messed up. Like that. Declare this as a new array list. And then I need to start adding some bubbles to it. So let's do this in here. I could do this in a bunch of different ways. I'm going to do this as a mouse press, or excuse me, as a key press when I press the keyboard. And I'm going to say that when I press, if the key that I'm pressing is a space, so we say if key equals the space, then we should say, let's create a bubble. Bubble, bubble. There's a new bubble. And let's see, we need to access, I know we need to give access to this. I want this thing to appear on the screen. We'll get into this. Let's mess with these values. But I need to know where I want it at on the screen. I think what I'm going to do, I don't want it to appear in the same location anytime I hit space. That's kind of boring. I want it to be in a random space on the screen. So I'm going to say is I'm going to make an x value. Int x is going to be equal to, let's use our random function. Now we're in the actual app class, so we don't need to call canvas in here. We can just access processing directly. We can say random. Let's give us an x value somewhere between. Let's take say we'll do almost the whole screen. We'll do 1,000. Oh, this is gonna get mad at us because this is gonna return a float. It's gonna return a decimal value. So I just need to change that into an integer real quick. I can take that. My y value, let's make that 800. So basically I'm generating, whenever I press space, I'm going to generate a random x, a random y. I'm going to create a bubble using these random x and random y's. Good so far. Let's see, what else do I need to do? I need to go into my array list bubbles, and let's add that bubble I just made. We can get rid of this first one that we were messing around with before. We don't need that anymore. We're leveling up on our stuff. Let's see that. For right now, let's see. Oh, is it going to work? Let's hit space. Space. Oh, nothing's happening. What's happening? So broken. But of course, I'm adding these things to the array list, but I'm not actually, saying for them to appear. If we look back in time when I had my first one, I needed to say display and update. So let's do that for our array list. What we need to do is we need to look through, instead of just a single object, we want to look through the entire array list. So this is where it can be really helpful to use a for each loop. For bubble B in bubbles, we're going to say b.display, b.update, and let's get rid of this first one stuff for good now. Looks good. Now let's hit space. Actually, we'll run it, and then we'll hit space. We got a thing appearing on the screen. We got another one, another. What I did in the original one was I made this appear happen 100 times. I can show you how I did that. It's really nothing too tricky. I could say whenever I hit spacebar, this could load up my computer pretty quick. I could say for int I is equal to 0. I is less than 100. I plus plus. This is a for loop that's going to loop 100 times. So whenever I hit spacebar, loop this thing 100 times. Maybe we could let's do 10 times. It'll be a little bit. So I hit space, it's going to generate 10. Hit space, generate another 10. Ooh, you make me seasick. Okay, so that's what we got. So yeah, so now, that's the entire point of a class, though. We just define that one bubble, say what a bubble should look like, and then we can make as many bubbles as we want from that. Let's do, okay, so I think I'm going to stop it there. I'm going to add one last element to my game, and I might undo some stuff. I was trying to give you a whole bunch of options. Let me do something. I want to make this into a game where I'm going to modify what I have. I'm going to make it into the bubbles are going to be bigger, slower, the same color, but I want when I click on them, I want them to have health that they're going to lose. So let's go into that. I'm going to make it so, again, if this is enough for you, you could probably get started with your game. But if you want to code along with me, I'm going to go through and I'm going to make a game where we have big, giant, like green bubbles. They're going to have 3 health. Whenever I click on them, they're going to go from green to yellow to red to disappear. The disappearing part's going to be the hardest. But let's get into that.